So let me ask the last question, and I'll ask it and answer it first, and then Terry, I'll ask you to be number two. So a two-part question. One is, where do you get your energy from? And the second part of the question is, what advice would you have for our audience in terms of being a successful entrepreneur? My answer would be, I get my energy from people. And so that's why when people see me with other people, they say, oh, you've got a lot of energy. And it's just it's so easy because that's where I get my energy from. And the second, in terms of being a successful entrepreneur, in my view, has to do with one single thing, and that's trusting other people. What's your answers to it?
Ooh. All right. Well, I think I have been blessed with really good genes. I really remember my grandmother, who was an interior designer, not very tall, wore a feather in her cap, and used to go running around the merchandise mart, and people used to say, isn't she amazing? And then my mother, very similarly, was very involved in so many things, and she was indefatigable. And people used to say to me, your mom is so amazing. You remember my mom, right? And, right? And now, I think I've come to that age where people think it's amazing that I'm doing this, but it's in the genes. I also think it's in your attitude, however. And I remember W. Clement Stone, Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude, The World's Strangest Secret, You Become What You Think You Are. And then you asked me, what was the second question exactly? What was the advice you'd give? So my
successful entrepreneur.
Yeah, well, so this is it. And it has followed me really through my life also from my grandmother. She always used to say, in my service to others, I find a cure for my own ills. And if every single day I can stop and someone gets through to me and calls me or emails me or stops me, to be able to give something back really gives me the energy. And I think that every successful entrepreneur is doing something that touches people. And if you see your life in that way, you get the energy back to go on and be successful. That's what I think.
Terrific. Tawfiq?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I think the same. I get my energy from you, Tom, and from Dan. But it is people. I totally agree with that. But also, I look at another area that really been very helpful for me, and that's diversity. I lived and worked on 4 continents and forced myself to learn about every culture that I lived at and visited with. And it's been like incredible journey where now I feel like you can, guaranteed I can bet my retirement money on it. You can give me a subject on any industry, any area, I can probably find a way around it. And it's not because I'm smart and my IQ is average. It is really because of the diversity I can pull from a lot of resources, information that I've learned from a lot of different cultures. It is something that made this country great, made me change my nationality and become an American. And I worry if we walk away from that. It's going to be dangerous for this country.
Thank you. Terrific. Judy?
I get my energy from listening to people tell me their stories. And my advice would be that you learn how to tell your story and be proud of your story and tell it to everyone.
Great one. Great one. Thanks. Diane?
So I get my energy from being excited to hop out of bed every morning because I feel that I'm helping to make a small difference. And that gives me such great energy. I also get it when I take a break and go into nature or do some other things too. I've just started this absolute great workout, which is giving me fabulous energy.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, and we actually
we both go to the same place.
It is citywide, super slow, and it has really made a difference. And in terms of advice, I say keep investing in yourself and to think really big and go for it.
Love it. Thanks, Diane. Terrific. Great. And Howard.
So I guess I would say a couple of things. I think that the second question is what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. I think, a lot of us think of this as if we're saving ourselves for the prom or something, and I think it's important to understand that right now is the time. It's always, we say the right time is always right now, and you have to have that bias toward action. If you're waiting for things to be perfect, if, as Diane said, if you're afraid of failure, all of these things, you really have to, Sheryl Sandberg says, you have to lean into these opportunities. So I think if you have to demonstrate to all the people around you, too, that this is important and you want it, and you discover that people line up to support you, you recruit people in that fashion, you make them part of your vision. Because, a leader and an entrepreneur as a leader has to show people not just a path to the future, but a way of getting there, a formula for that. And to me, the funny thing about our environment is you really never know who's going to bring you your future. You're surrounded by all kinds of different people, and talent is a peculiar thing. It is a package deal. Some of these people don't believe that bathing is necessary and want to work all night. All of these different things. But if you want their talent, you have to sort of accept all of them and make room for all of them. And so to your point about diversity, that's the most exciting thing, which is I don't think you can have effective innovation without a strategy for including a much, much broader population than we have traditionally.
And where's your energy come from?
I don't know what to say about that. It comes from not sleeping, I think.
That's the point. Thanks, Eric. Thank you.